This is here Bustin' Boxing. We are back in the house. And go do a little talking about Eddie Hearn and the situation he has put matchroom boxing in. Let's start with AJ. First of all, you find yourself in a bad position with AJ, where you had a guy who's sitting on top of the heavyweight division, and some people argue the boxing world in itself, just to watch it slip away in one night, when you guys could have easily, you had ample time to pull him out of that card. That way he would have had proper time to train for Andy Ruiz. But no, you decided we're going to slide him in there with the guy who's very talented and highly skilled, like he was some bum. And probably figured, well, you know, he only has about 5 to 7 weeks. And when I say 7, I'm being very generous, because 7 weeks was really the time frame that Big Baby tested positive from. So we'll say probably more like 5 weeks to train for Joshua. But here's the thing, that really wasn't a disadvantage for Ruiz, because he had just got finished fighting. He was in shape, he was fresh, because the fight he was in was like a cakewalk. Actually, if you really watch that fight, it was almost like a dress rehearsal for Joshua. He did the same thing in that fight he did against Joshua. Matter of fact, he made Joshua look worse, which is telling, very telling. Dimitrico looked better against Ruiz than Joshua. Well, I can't say that, because Dimitrico didn't do anything. At least Joshua got a knockdown. But Dimitrico didn't get knocked out either. He got stopped in his corner for not being active. But anyway, the point is, Ruiz got the belt, Joshua got nothing. Eddie Hearn is scrambling, trying to get this rematch in. Then you have DILLIAN WHYTE. Now, Eddie Hearn has come out to say, if DILLIAN WHYTE beat Oscar Rivas, and that's a big if, but let's say he does beat Oscar Rivas. Matter of fact, Oscar Rivas is someone who beat Andy Ruiz in the amateur, so that should let you know what type of fighter he's dealing with. But let's say he does beat Oscar Rivas, and like I said, that's a big if. Then Eddie Hearn is saying that, oh, by the way, he's saying that they'll be fighting for the WBC interim title. Which, once again, Eddie keeps saying a lot of stuff, but you're not hearing this stuff come out of the WBC mouth. You're hearing Eddie Hearn say, if you got this much pull, how come DILLIAN haven't fought Wilder already? Just like you said, the WBC was allowing DILLIAN and Tyson Fury to fight for the Diamond Belt. Matter of fact, that's the first time you said something about DILLIAN and Rivas fighting for the interim title when you announced that. But anyway, the point is this. You got your man DILLIAN floating out there when he could have been in a better position. Now, I understand DILLIAN has been sitting at like the #1 spot contender-wise for the WBC for like over a year. So I get it. But when you're chasing somebody down for that title, you got to cover all the bases. And DILLIAN had plenty of time to do that over the last year or two. He had the opportunity to fight Dominic Breazeale and Luis Ortiz, the two guys really that was his main competition for a title fight over the last 2 years. He did not do that, especially after Ortiz fought Wilder. He could have got him out the way, because you knew he already put it out there he was going for a rematch. Could have got that out the way. He did not do that. Could have got Dominic Breazeale out of the way. The WBC even, urged him to do that by making them mandatories for each other. Did not do that. Instead, he just kept running his mouth. And part of me like DILLIAN. I think he has heart. Got a big mouth, but he does have heart. I give him that. But Man, you fought Lucas Brown. For what? If that wasn't a pointless fight, I don't know what is. I can understand you fighting Parker, but see, here's the problem with that. Parker just came off a loss. He was basically getting forced down to the, to the back of the bus anyway. You fought him really for no reason. I mean, good name to have on your resume, but he was getting pushed back for a title shot himself. Now you could argue the same thing with Luis Ortiz, I guess. I don't know. Either way, if you want to make the same argument that I just made with Ortiz, I get that one. But at the end of the day, what about Dominique Brazil? Because that was the guy that they were making a mandatory anyway, and you did not fight him. So then the same thing with Pulev. He was the mandatory for you for the IBF to settle out who was going to be the mandatory for Joshua. You didn't fight him either. That's who jumped on. We fought Joseph Parker for, but he had the opportunity to fight all three of these guys roughly at the same time, and you decided to take Parker, which you got dropped twice, I believe in. If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember. I know it got dropped at least once in the last round. Either way, I blame Eddie Hearn for making some bad business decisions, not just for Anthony Joshua, but for DILLIAN WHYTE too. Frank Warren said, how in the world is this man being a man and really like top guy in the WBC and been put in position to be the top guy with the IBF and still hadn't had a title shot? And I'm talking about this been going on for over a year. And now you're talking about suing the WBC to get Deontay Wilder in the ring with him. Well, you waited too late for that, because now he done cleared out his mandatory, so he can do what he wants for the next year or two. DILLIAN really go out the way. You would have been better off throwing him in there with AJ, which y'all like, big time them like you do everybody else, trying to shortchange him. And what's really gonna be fun is to see how, things play out with him and Anthony Joshua in-house, because now Joshua don't have the belts. Is DILLIAN gonna be your new guy? Especially if AJ lose to Luis, that's gonna be funny to see how that play out. But anyway, this is Head Busting Boxing Fight Doctor. Hit me in the comment section, let me know what you think. Has Eddie Hearn destroyed Matchroom from the inside out? Or is it still salvageable? Do you blame Eddie for some of the disasters that's been going on for AJ losing to Luis in such a silly manner? And when I say that, I mean the fact that he really didn't even have to be in the ring with Luis, and definitely shouldn't have been in with them on short notice. That was crazy. For that, he should have put a bomb in there. I mean, I'm just saying. I know that don't sound good for the fans, but business-wise, you should have never put your man in there short notice. That's a recipe for upset. Do you blame him for DILLIAN WHYTE's shortcomings? After all, he's his promoter. But anyway, hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that subscribe button. I am out.